UGA Sports here with the newest UGA commit, tight end Oscar Delp. Oscar, number one, man, how's it feel to finally be a dog?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I've definitely had this feeling for a while, and it's a good feeling to getting to tell the world it.
So you say you've had it for a while. When did you know? Was it earlier this summer? Was it maybe earlier this season? Sort of how long have you known?
I mean, I think ever since I really got the offer, I always kind of knew in the back of my mind that it was somewhere that I could. There was a very high chance I'd end up there, and then ever since that first game against Clemson, I really knew. Just watching what they did with Brock, and they did everything they told me they were going to do. It kind of sold me on it. Every game since then has kind of solidified it even more.
So take me back to when did you get that offer?
About, I think towards the end of September.
Okay. September of
last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who was it that gave? Was it Coach Hartley that called you and
Yep,
told
Coach
you?
Hartley.
Has Georgia always kind of been a dream school? I mean, obviously you're an hour and a half or whatever down the road.
I mean, it's definitely been a school that anyone, if you're from Georgia, you know how hard it is to get into. Just living in the state. I mean, it's definitely a school that I've always dreamed of playing football at. I really dreamed of playing football almost. I mean, anywhere. Just big football, but to play for the number one team in the country is just anyone want to do that.
So what has it been like building that relationship, with Coach Hartley over the past year or so? Obviously, he's a guy that recruits a lot of great tight ends. You mentioned Brock, Darnell, Pierce Spurlin in 2023. Just what's it been like building that relationship with him?
Yeah, I mean, he knows how to recruit very well. He cares about you as a person and a football player. I think that's one of the reasons that he's such a good recruiter is because he gets with you on a real personal level. He recruited my family as well. He wasn't just recruiting me, so he won my parents over, won me over, and my parents they can't wait to send me off with him and to be mentored by him, and they just think that he's the perfect fit for a tight ends coach.
You say, he's with you on a personal level. Sort of, how does he show that, that he really cares about you on a personal level when you spend time with him?
Yeah, I mean, he's not always just giving you that recruiting pitch. I mean, he calls you, checks in just how you're doing, what you're doing in school, just regular stuff. I mean, it's not always football with him. I mean, it's family stuff, just talking if it's just a regular, normal conversation.
So what's your favorite, non-football conversation or maybe topic that y'all kind of always hit on?
I mean, it's really different every time. It's like talking to one of your friends. I mean, you're not always talking about the same stuff, so there's really not a favorite topic we have. I mean, we're always just talking about just life and just regular stuff that's going on.
So same question, but with Kirby Smart. What's it been like building that relationship with him over the past, or I guess I'm sure he's been recruiting you longer than a year, but building that relationship with him?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome when I get to talk to Kirby. I mean, he's always FaceTiming me, calling me, texting me. We're always texting back and forth, so he's really taken a lot of his time to reach out to me, and I can tell that he's really made me a priority recruit for them, and I'm the only tight end that they've been recruiting and the only one they've been reaching out to, and it's just awesome getting to talk to him.
I was going to say, how much does that mean to you knowing, because I'm sure they're recruiting 50 different receivers and running backs and all that kind of stuff, but to be the only tight end they've really gone after in this class, just what does that mean to you and show you about how much they want you?
Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, for the best school, for the best team in the country right now to only be recruiting me at my position is just, it's an awesome feeling, and they told me that's what they were going to do, and they stuck to it. They didn't go behind my back and reach out to anyone else. I mean, they've been only recruiting me, and that's how they kept it.
And when you look at the pedigree of guys, like I mentioned earlier, they had Isaac Nada back in the day, and they got Darnell and Brock. I mean, to I guess realize they see that same kind of pedigree in you that of the guys they've had in the past. Just how special is that to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's an awesome feeling. I mean, I think a lot of those guys are, if they're not already in the NFL, are going to be in the NFL. I mean, I really think Georgia's becoming one of those tight end U schools just with Monken's new offense and all the guys that are going to be coming and that are there right now. And I mean, just to be mentioned along some of those names is awesome.
So you mentioned the offense a couple of times. What did they tell you this summer as far as what the offense was going to look like this fall? Year two with JT Daniels, year two with Todd Monken, all that kind of stuff. What was their pitch, or not maybe pitch, but their vision for what they were telling you the offense was going to look like this fall?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many weapons on that offense, and to just have a tight end that can do what a receiver does, it will really open up a lot of things. And I mean, they told me what they were going to try and do with Bowers and how they wanted to use him in the passing game and just moving him around before the snap and after the snap and getting him in the passing game a lot was something I was really excited to see, and they did it. And they were giving him handoffs, they were running him on sweeps. I mean, you name it, they were doing it with him, and I think that's definitely the perfect fit for me.
So I know you were at that Clemson game, and I think that first drive he had 2 catches and 3 targets maybe. I mean, what goes through your mind when you see, I guess, that vision coming into fruition right in front of your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, I was really excited getting to watch that game and getting to see Brock get targeted all those times. I mean, just a vision that could maybe be me in a couple years or next year. I mean, it's just an awesome feeling because I mean, that's some of the stuff that I kind of do with my high school right now, and I just get to do that next level will be awesome.
Have you talked to Brock? I mean, has he been one of the guys that's been recruiting you too?
Yeah, I mean, right now they're super busy in their season, but
Mhm.
when I went up on my visit, I was talking with him. We got each other's phone numbers, Snapchat. So I mean, he's a super cool dude, and I can't wait to get to work with him.
So just overall this season, kind of going back to the offense, I mean, I want to say he's leading the team in receiving yards and receptions right now. I mean, to see that offense, to see what you could be, I guess. I mean, what is it like watching those games and, like you said, knowing, hey, next year, year after, this could be me?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to see that. I mean, to think that they could have me and Brock in the field at the same time doing some of those things is just it's gonna be a dangerous offense, and I think it's really gonna open up a lot of opportunities for me to get the ball and make a lot of plays.
And Darnell too. Don't forget about
Yeah,
Darnell.
yeah, and Darnell. No, not gonna forget about him.
Yeah. So, if you said you knew, I guess when you were watching that Clemson game, when did you tell the coaches?
I didn't tell him until a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I just wanted to keep my my options open because I mean there were a point where I really liked South Carolina. There was a point where I really liked Clemson. I mean it was kind of changing all back and forth, but I think Georgia was just that most consistent feeling. So once I knew that that's just where I wanted to be and I was locked in, I told the coaches.
What was that reaction like when you talked to them?
I told Coach Smart and Coach Hartley, and they were both ecstatic. I mean they were yelling, screaming on the phone, just super happy. It was an awesome feeling.
So, and like you said, South Carolina really pushed for you hard, the last month or so, and Clemson, and I know Michigan was in it too. What was it about Georgia that really sold you, especially with all those schools coming at you really hard?
I think the main thing that really separated them the most was just that gut feeling I had. I mean, I just knew in my heart that that's the school I wanted to be at, and I felt at home, and I could be there for 15 years, and I would love it.
What is it that makes you feel at home when you're on campus? Is it the coaches? Is it the facilities are nice, I'm sure, but I mean, what gives you that home feeling when you're there?
Yeah, I mean, best facilities in the country. Just walking around that campus, everyone's so welcoming. I mean, just getting recognized by people and everyone being so greeting to you and so nice, it just gives you a good, safe feeling.
I've talked to other guys and they say, when they meet recruiting staff or whatever, it feels like they've already known you for a long time, even if you've never met them before. Do you get that same kind of feeling when you're
Definitely, yeah. I mean, just they've put so much work into finding out who you are and researching you, and once you get to meet them, I mean, they already know everything about you, so it really feels like you've known them and been recruited for 5 years.
What is your favorite? You were in Athens, I guess, multiple times this summer, and obviously at the South Carolina game,
Mm-hmm.
right? What is your favorite memory, from a visit you've taken to Athens over this year?
I think that South Carolina game was definitely one of the best times I've had in Athens, just because it was the first time I got to see the stadium really at full capacity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that place was rocking, and I'll be back this weekend against Kentucky, so I'm excited to go see that. And I wish I could have made it to the Arkansas game because I heard it was rocking there, but I mean, just getting out there and getting to feel that environment and that fan base going crazy was awesome.
I'm glad you heard because I couldn't really hear anything when I was sitting in the press box.
Yeah.
But as far as guys in your class, who are the guys that have been, I guess, recruiting you the hardest?
Yeah, I mean, two guys that really recruit me the hardest are probably Gunner and Kojo. I mean, Gunner and I want to get Kojo. That's why I said that. That's who I'm going to be going at. Gunner and Denylon. That's who's been going at me the most. But now that I got to put my recruiting hat on, you guys know that's who I want. I want Kojo. But Gunner and Denylon have both been recruiting me really hard, and but they know they've been through the same process, so they know how it goes. They've been giving me my space, but they've also been kind of staying in my ear about it. So,
what does that pitch sound like, from other players, and how is it different from coaches? And I guess is hearing from other players maybe more important than hearing pitches from coaches?
Yeah, I mean those are going to be the guys that you're going through every day with. So I think it's definitely an important to hear from them as well as the coaches. But I think just the players, you're going to be with them, grinding through it all. And I mean they want the best for the team, and if they're coming after you, I mean that they want you and they think that you bring value to the team. So.
And I don't think I asked this about Kirby Smart earlier, but what's something about Kirby that maybe sticks out, he does better, when you look at the other coaches that, were really recruiting you really hard?
I think just from the practices I've seen and before the game and stuff, I mean, he really developed and set a culture and a tone at Georgia. I mean, all those practices are so high intensity and every guy's giving 100% every play, and I mean, that's not at every school. I think that's one thing that he's gotten down is just getting those practices going and getting everyone fired up all the time.
How much of that culture have you been able to see? I'm sure you've seen practices and stuff when you've been up there. How much have you been able to see that, I guess, sort of stick out amongst the actual team, when you've seen them doing stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's a brotherhood up there right now. I mean, every practice I was at in the summer, getting to see them just work out. I mean, every guy was giving it their all. They're all picking each other up and helping each other, and I think it really shows on the field this year. I mean, every guy's having fun, flying around, making big plays, and they're the #1 team in the country right now.
So we're going to kind of wrap things up with maybe more general stuff. We're standing in the middle of the West Forsyth field right now. What's your favorite football memory, Oscar?
I think last year when we played our first game on TV and I had 2 touchdowns, I kind of knew that my life was going to change the next day. And the next day I got off from Michigan, and then everything just took off from there. I mean, I was talking with some of those coaches before, and they were just kind of waiting to see me play my first game. And after COVID, it was kind of the first game to really be played, and it was on TV, and just everyone was here. It was awesome because everyone's really excited football is back, and I got to make 2 pretty big plays, and that's kind of just my favorite thing.
So was your recruitment kind of, slow up until that point last year? Was it, you played well in your junior season and things really kind of took off from there?
I mean, I wouldn't say it was slow last year. I mean, just waiting for the dead period to open up. September 1st was when I could really start talking to coaches. So I was kind of emailing or texting back and forth on Twitter with some of them, and they knew they were interested in me. But last year was my first year ever playing tight end, really. I mean, before that I was really playing corner and wide receiver, and not a lot of people know that. So I had some receiver film I was sitting around, and just I knew I had the frame to become a tight end. And then when COVID hit and we had all that time, I feel like I put on a lot of weight and got a lot stronger, a lot faster, and really grew into that tight end mold. And then after that first game, I got my first offer, and then they just came in every day like after that.
So what, I guess, maybe led to the tight ends? Was it something you wanted to do? Was it kind of a byproduct of COVID? Was it maybe something you heard from colleges about your frame? It's like, hey, if you put on some pounds, you could be a game changer at tight end. Sort of what, went into that switch there?
Yeah, I mean, I always knew that I would be a pretty good tight end. I mean, I thought that I was really athletic and way more athletic than some kids that I saw getting offers before me, and I knew that I could be one of those pass-catching tight ends that can run past a DB and too fast for linebackers. So, I mean, it was kind of just a mismatch that I knew just watching guys like Kelsey and Darren Waller and just seeing what they do, and I kind of just thought that I could do something like that.
I got Darren Waller on my fantasy team, so I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
As far as being a corner before, I mean, does that help you both, I guess, as a receiver and a tight end, kind of having that, defensive background, knowing how defenses can play things and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just learning all the tips that you want to know about a receiver and what routes and how to cover someone. I mean, that really helps on both ways just because I know what they're thinking and how to kind of get around all that.
Do you have a favorite corner highlight you've ever had?
Yeah, I broke up a pass against Hewitt Trussville my sophomore year, and I was guarding Dazzlin Warsham, who's my Miami wide receiver now. Okay. So that was my first game playing DB, and I got to cover Under Armour All-American, so that was kind of fun.
Is Jamil Adai hitting you up about maybe playing both ways in Athens, or not
I mean,
so much?
If they need it, I'll hop back there, but I think they've got some good guys on defense.
So, I guess just wrapping it up, I guess first of all, are you going to enroll early this December? Is that the plan?
Yes.
So you'll be in Athens in 3 months, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
What are you bringing to Athens? What are the fans going to get from you? Just what do you want to tell the guys the fans that'll be cheering for you in 3 months?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm bringing them the best pass catching tight end in the country. I mean, I'm going to give it my all every day and make the guys around me better as well as they're going to make me better. I mean, we're all going to be competing every day, and I think that just playing with the best kids in the country is going to make everyone better. So, I mean, I just think that this team's going to be really dangerous and really good for a long time.
Are you going after any other guys besides Kojo?
I mean, yeah, I want Michael, Kojo, Christian Miller. I mean, there's a handful of them. So.
Appreciate it, Oscar.
Thank you.